I saw this interview with Fat Joe, and I wanted to get your kind of thoughts on this, right?
Okay, yeah.
So there's an interview with Fat Joe.
Joey Crack!
That's right. He was on a talk show, and they asked him, what he thought about that. He said it's a travesty.
Yeah.
He said, I lie in 90% of my raps.
Yeah.
He said they couldn't build a prison high enough to put me in for all the things that I've said that were just cap, basically. And he said that, it's just art. It's just like how you feel. I rap about how I'm feeling that day. He said, in real life, I'm a family man and a community leader. Yeah. So to me, I think that's kind of crazy. It's like you've gained wisdom over time, right? And presumably you moved out of a space like you did, right? You moved out of a space where this lifestyle could happen, and you're a family man, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like for Fat Joe though, to be talking about things that he's not even doing, instead of giving us the wisdom of hey, look at the brighter side of the grass, or the greener side of the grass over here, where we're being responsible members of the community. Yeah. I feel like that is it's so backwards. It's so strange to me. But I don't know. What's your take on that?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think to a certain extent he's right about the art. But it just depends. It all depends on the application. I've heard songs, right, that okay, I grew up not you guys know this. I kind of talked about it a little bit, but I grew up not listening to a lot of rap, and so there were songs Sublime had that date rape song. Of course, you're not supposed to just go out and just date rape people, So there is a level of entertainment that goes into music. However, comma. There is a level of responsibility when it comes to hip hop, because I feel like hip hop it's a different facet of music. Because when you have jazz, that's expression. When you have pop, that's literally meant to be popular.
Right.
When you have rock, rock is a myriad of all of those emotions. And then you got rage music, you got screamo, but hip hop in general, right, tells a story of kind of the struggle. So
it's also a very lyric forward genre. Yeah. It's more words than any other genre.
Exactly. So, I think about how hip hop was, birthed out of the disco era, when it was very just hip hop, don't stop the rocket to the, and then it turned into people pissing on the street because they just don't care. And then everybody fight the power. And then it morphed into, people being angry and then telling a story. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it did get ratchet and gangster, but now it's just out of hand. Now it's just flexing about random stuff.
But especially when you're not doing it, and also especially because somebody like Kendrick Lamar has done a great job of taking an environment that he was a part of, and or even telling stories of people, so you could still have those lyrics there. Yeah. But then giving you an alternate perspective on how to look at that. Swimming pools, for example, is one of his biggest songs.
Drinking song.
It sounds like a drinking song, but it's an anti-drinking song.
Yeah, addiction.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But it's still a record that you can listen to in the club if you pull up, drink, and if you're turning up, you can have your cake and eat it too in that sense. But I think for someone like Fat Joe, it's bro, we have enough music, especially from the youth, right? Especially from people who are actually doing these things because they haven't learned these. They haven't gained the wisdom over time. They haven't matured. Enough people rapping about moving drugs, killing people, all of that stuff. It's we want to hear something more substance. And I say of course there's a market for that. But I'm saying if you've learned it, I feel like that market should be reserved for people who are ignorant to the better. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And if you found better, share that with us, bro. Yeah. We're trying to live great lives. You know what I'm saying?
I do get it, right? You do want to create a world. And if you do a good job of creating that world, do you tell a good story, right? Because we all love American Gangster. We all love Denzel and Training Day. But is Denzel really promoting these things, or is he just portraying a character that had a story to tell? How good is the narrative? We love John Wick, but John Wick is a low key, bro. How many crimes has this nigga committed?
No. Hey, facts. I would just say in the art form of movies, there's clearly a divide.
Oh yeah, there is.
You're telling a story.
So with music, you know what I'm saying, you're representing it as if this is your life, and I think the problem is culturally that you have.
You're right. Too.
Yeah. I think you have culturally people who the coolest people in the culture are talking about the things that are.
No, I get it. I get it. But I'm saying I I see the attempt at trying to make art.
Yeah.
But it's just it unfortunately kids are so malleable that they're going to look at it and take it as gospel.
Yeah.
Because it's spoken word, right? It's word format. It could be put on a book, you know, and it's something. Words are powerful, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, words are, you know, like swords.
Yeah.
They're sharp, bro.
Especially when you put it in music form.
Yeah, I think it's because we're creators and like we say stuff out loud, and that stuff carries not to get too weird, but it carries a certain energy.
Yeah. 100%.
Because literally sound is energy, right?
Yeah.
Like you know about sonics and how waveforms move, so that energy going out into the atmosphere, it really does something.
Yeah, baby, need top 5 when I'm done going mental. Yeah, I'm like, then you can peep my condition in the lab all winter, all summer. Yeah, I went dumb, now I'm back.